We are on the Country versus Metal podcast with Wade Forster. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, and you?
Dude, I'm doing great. I appreciate you taking your time.
Nah, man, it's all good. I had to get up anyway. The time
Yeah,
difference sort of works perfectly for stuff like this.
yeah, it's amazing. You're literally across the world.
Yeah, nah, it is crazy considering a lot of the people that do podcasts with me are on that side of the world, so I don't get a lot in Australia. So yeah, I'm kind of used to it by now.
Yeah. Now, when somebody from your team, or I don't know if it was you, contacted me and said that you were doing your first tour over at the States, and I should check you out. Now, had I not gotten the heads up that you were Australian, I don't think I would have noticed just from your music. Does that bother you
I
if someone
mean,
says that?
not really. Like, I grew up on American country music, so like my singing style, I think, was influenced by that. Like, I grew up rodeoing with dad and that, and he used to play Brooks and Dunn and Big and Rich. I don't know why I listened to so much Big and Rich as a kid, but I loved Big and Rich and all them old school country boys like George and Garth and all that were on CDs in the car going to a rodeo. So I think that shaped how I sing. I didn't really listen to a lot of Australian country music until I got into it.
Is there a big Australian country music scene?
I mean, yeah, there is. It's still pretty niche at the moment. Like I've got a big festival this weekend. But like for an Australian to sort of get in the spotlight, we sort of need to get in your spotlight, if you know what I mean. Like, um, we've got a decent enough scene. There's a heap of us singing and a lot of songs coming out, but yeah, it's all still pretty niche.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Uh, when we were in the lobby, we were really dealing with technical difficulties, but I love Australian slang. I absolutely love it. And but like if you were to be like put like the Australian influence in it, like nobody would know what you were talking about. Like if like
Yeah,
the song cigarettes, if you called it Duffy's,
yeah,
you,
Durries, yeah. But like,
but
yeah, even like trucks, we don't call them trucks, we call them utes. So like I had to translate that, otherwise only people from my hometown had listened to songs like that.
yeah, yeah, and it's like if you sing a song about cheap wine, plunk,
Yeah, plonk.
like yeah, I,
That's our box wine.
yeah, or what do they call that goon?
Yeah,
Like
goons.
yeah, I worked before he became a huge boss. He was Australian, and I used to love using the lingo with him. And man, like we run like a pretty big section of the railroad, and I changed. I knew he was coming down. I changed all the backgrounds to koala bears, and he's like, "Oh, I think that was funny," and I was like, "Yeah, I just wanted you to make you feel like you're at home." And here it was like taking all the RAM away, and it was almost like crashed the entire system. But this slang, I love it because it's just like if Willie Nelson was Australian and is it redheaded stranger, it'd be Bluey Stranger.
Yeah,
Like I,
yeah,
I I love it. I love the irony in the slang. It's like it's one of my favorite things because I listened to the chats like
oh yeah,
yeah the dude when they kind of like the same deal like what happened with you like they went
yeah,
viral with Smoko
yeah,
and they're very into the slang. I'm like because I'm like what are Ralphie blues? I need to I need to translate this and I just love how other I love slang and I love lingo but they kind of had like this the same path you did because you went viral with the Tyler Childers right
yeah,
that was the first
yeah. That was the first song I released on Spotify and that, and I didn't think much of it. Like that was during COVID, and like I was stuck at home, so like I was living on my mum and dad's cattle station, and it's like 60,000 acres out in Western Queensland, and like we're stuck there during COVID, so like we saw each other every day for like a year. We didn't see anyone else. And I was already playing guitar then, and I was like, all right, I might as well do something. And I was like, oh, I don't want to release one of my songs just yet. And I stumbled on Onita by Tyler Childers on YouTube, and I was like, why hasn't he released this? This is a masterclass. And now he has, like 3 or 4 years later. But that was the first song, and I recorded that on an iPhone, like
That's crazy.
uploaded it off an iPhone. Like I didn't even have a microphone or anything.
That's why I tell people, like, when they're like, well, all I have is this and I don't have this. I'm like, dude, talent will shine through. And that's an
Mm.
absolute great example of, people can tell. They,
Yeah,
yeah, the audience will be like, yeah, this guy can sing, you know?
it wasn't a big drama for me because like in a lot of people's eyes they're like, oh, you should have went and recorded that as a band with big band and this and that. And I'm like, I'd be pretty happy to record most of my songs acoustic, just guitar, because that's how I wrote them, like
Yeah.
I think that shows more talent than having the full band behind you. But people like the full band.
Yeah. Yeah. And like with acoustic, there's no place to hide. I mean,
Exactly. But that's how I write
so
my songs. Like I don't want to hide. I want to if I fuck up, I want people to see that.
and then I read, you got your first guitar for $50 on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, I still got it. I was I was working in this town. It's sort of like I don't know if you have a big mining town over there, but like our big mining town in Queensland is called Mount Isa, and I was there doing a refrigeration apprenticeship, and I was a young cowboy in a town full of old cowboys, so there wasn't a lot of, oh, let's go rope steers until midnight, because they all had families. They weren't wanting to stay out, so I was often pretty bored, and I could have gone drinking or something like that, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go drinking every weekend, so I bought a guitar for a hobby. Didn't think much of it. Taught myself off of YouTube. I think the first song I learnt was Wagon Wheel, and then the second song I learnt was Dear Rodeo by Cody Johnson,
Nice. And
and just kept picking up new songs and getting further down the road. And I lived some pretty cool stories with rodeoing and living out in the outback. So it just I was like, all right, I might write my own ones now. I'll give it a go. The first song I
yeah,
ever wrote was Cigarettes, funnily enough.
nice. Like first, the whole being on a 60,000 acre property on COVID. That is like, that's probably the most isolated I've ever heard of anybody during it. And just that landmass to me that's incredible because I knew people that have farms that it was a couple hundred acres, and I thought that was just mind blowing. But 60,000 acres
That's
for me,
like a mid to small size operation in Australia. Like I worked on a cattle station straight out of school in Dewey Creek, and it was 1.7 million acres. And I remember first day I was there, um, I was mustering on this horse, and it started like bucking and carrying on. I'm like, I'm in the middle of nowhere. They won't find me if I fall off this thing. But yeah, no, it did trip me out a little bit. Like when I first was talking to Cody, Cody's like, "Oh, I got this amount of acres." He's like, "How big's your place?" Like it's 60,000 acres. He's got. He
yeah,
blew his head. He's like, "I didn't know you could have that much."
yeah, and that's just a family farm.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, that's just family. There's a lot of company places like that have a bit more, but most of the time it's just families like that um have acres out there. Um, a lot of cattle, like people in America still think we do a lot of sheep, but sheep sort of not really happening here anymore. Not where I am anyway.
yeah, it's cool to hear it's families. Over here, that would be like a corporation. It'd be
Nah,
like a
nah.
Purdue or Tyson.
Nah,
Yeah,
Dad would never. Dad would never. He's like, nah, the only person he works for is the bank.
yeah. Dude, that's funny. Yeah. Cody's reaction is definitely on par with mine because wait, I'm pretty sure he just said 60,000.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
It's good,
awesome.
like especially as a young fella, like you want to go, you know, shoot kangaroos or ride horses through creeks and that. You don't have to worry about going through a fence or finding a gate because there rarely is one. You can just go for miles and miles.
Yeah. It's funny is like over here, it's, I can I'll speak for Americans when I say like when we think of Australia, like we are scared to death of your wildlife. You know,
Oh, we
like
are too, don't worry.
what-
Like everything in Australia can kill you. And
yeah,
that's the easiest way to put it. Like kangaroos, everyone thinks they're harmless. Like kangaroos can kill you in 5 seconds.
yeah, they're a nuisance animal. I'm
Yeah,
surprised that
they're our
how many
biggest
people don't know
pest.
that.
They're our
Yeah,
biggest pest. And on their foot they got three claws, and that middle one's razor sharp. They'll kick you in the guts and just rip everything out of you. Like
ugh,
yeah, they're awful things, and they're actually pricks because like they like they like if you got dogs hate kangaroos, and that's just a food chain, and like they'll coax dogs, like make them come to water, like by like, oh, chase me, and they'll run chasing these kangaroos. They'll get them to water, and they'll put them underwater, and they'll try to drown the dogs. They're pricks, like that.
yeah,
I hate them. Like
yeah,
like people make livings in Australia by shooting kangaroos. Like they don't have a job. Like that's their job. They shoot kangaroos for a living. Like that's a normal job to have in Australia.
wow,
Um, yeah, spiders, snakes, shit, like anything can kill you out here.
yeah. It's
I think we
just like
got like eight of the most venomous snakes in the world or something like that.
yeah, that's nuts. That's why I like it's like why I like the Northeast. I think the only thing we have like copperheads like in down south, and it's funny. It's
I
like
want to see a rattlesnake. I want to see one. I always thought like, nah, that's not real. Like snakes don't make that noise.
yeah,
But everyone's telling me, yeah, like they'll rattle, and that's why they're called that. And I'm like, oh, I need to see it to believe
yeah. I'm fine with the video.
it.
I do. Oh, man, snakes, stuff like that. I don't like animals that I can't tell their temperament. I man, dogs you can tell.
Yeah,
You check the tail, you have an idea. They may be crafty, but for the most part, but reptiles and all that, and when you get no tails, not a fan.
well, don't come to Australia, then they won't tell you. No, they'll be like, oh, come over and pat me, and then they'll hit you or bite you or something. Like Dad's dog. Dad's got a blue dog that we can't even take to rodeos anymore. Like it's savage. Like if one of my friends tries to come around to my horse trailer to have a beer or something at a rodeo, he'll call before he gets there. He's like, "Is Dottie there?" And I'm like, "No, Dottie's tied up. It's all good." And he'll walk really wide around the trailer to get to me because that dog would just grab him and yeah, real unassuming, but he'd be wagging his tail like, "Oh, how you going?" And whack, bite.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So in the rodeo, have you done rodeos in the U.S.?
I've done I've done one with at Belton, Texas. I did the Cody Johnson team roping. Um,
Okay.
that was sort of like my first introduction to it because Cody said he was running it and he called me up and he was like, "Come over, we'll rope. I'll get you some partners, all that." And I was like, "Yep, sweet." Didn't really know what to expect. But then like I was roping against some of the greatest in the world, like some of the greatest ever do it, and I even got to rope with like Luke Branquino, who's like an icon to me. Like used to watch his tapes as a kid, steer wrestling, winning world titles, and rope with Joe Beaver, the man that built the roof on the Thomas and Mack. Like crazy stuff like that. Cody did miss for me in the second round, and I won't forget it. He missed in the team roping for me, and I was like, "You dragged me all the way from Australia for that?" And he's like, "Shut up."
That's funny. Now are the animals like who would win an Australian versus like a Texan livestock
Uh,
for the rodeo? Or are they on the same level or
yeah, they're like somewhat on the same level. I reckon the Texan boys definitely get better cattle because they're like better trained. They're always roping. Like they make living off it. See, we in Australia we still got to have a job to fund the rodeo because it doesn't pay as well. Some people do. Don't get me wrong. Some people just rodeo all year round. But for me, like it was 6 or 7 hours to my closest rodeo in the pro circuit. So like, yeah, I was working all week just to go to the rodeo to see if I
wow.
could win some more money. Um, but in terms of like Cowboys, a few Texans have come down here and tried the Australian stock and haven't really fared well. But us Aussies go over there and we put on a show. So like Kai Hamilton, he won the world. We got I wrote a song about a bulldogger that I used to travel around with called Travis Munro. He's giving them hell in the steer wrestling right now, and all the Cowboys that are doing good, they're all packing up and moving over there because they want to show America that Australia's here. We're not like a second nation when it comes to rodeo. We're right up there with yous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's cool. I'm like, man, I just totally lost my train of thought. We were talking about we were talking about now as a true rodeo guy and cowboy. Like, how do you know when? How, do you what's a tell of that guy's a fake? Like, can you spot him a mile away?
Oh yeah, yeah, I can spot them, and I deal with it a lot in Australia. Even some artists, they put the hat on, they fresh pair of Wrangler jeans, and I've seen some embarrassing ones. Like I saw a dude in a crowd at one of my shows, he still had the stickers on his jeans, and I was like, oh God, he bought them today. Like, you know, um, I've seen people go on stage with their cowboy hat on backwards in Australia, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I could spot them a mile away. I've seen a lot of it, especially in music scene. Not as much in rodeo. You can. There's a big difference between the cowboys and the crowd at an Australian rodeo.
Yeah. It it's also something like if I'm gonna lie, like if I'm like, yeah, I ride bulls, and you're at a place where someone can be like, all right, you're next. Like no, like I've never been on a bull. You can go walk, you can go pet a dairy cow, but you look over and you see them just moving their legs and just. I'm like, no, no, you're over there for a reason, but yeah, like I, I've I've never been involved with the rodeo. I've been like once, but in my it would be for like it'd be like me getting on my motorcycle on purpose and wreck it. Like that's how I translate riding bulls and chasing down animals and throwing them down and just jumping off your horse and wrestling these things down to the ground. Like
Someone, I saw someone on TikTok say something funny about it. It's like, oh, rodeo's like filling a kiddie pool full of water, getting your mate to fill a pool full of water, and then you're on the roof and you're blindfolded, and he said, "Yeah, you're right, jump in it." And it might be full of water, it might not, and you might hit the ground and get hurt, but you might fall in the water and have a good time. But yeah, that's what I thought. Like, oh yeah, that's perfect analogy of rodeo because like the amount of people that go, oh no, he's a good bull, and he just monsters the absolute shit out of them.
yeah,
But like I never rode bulls. I had a go at bronc riding, saddle bronc, but I wasn't quick enough, so I just stuck to timed events and do like roping and steer wrestling and stuff like that. I dabbled in calf roping, wasn't quick enough for that either. But like. Uh, I travel around with bull riders. You know, like it's different in Australia. Like all the bull riders would travel around together in America, and all the team ropers, and like they stick to their events. Where Australia, I've been in a car where I've got two bull riders, one bronc rider, and a barrel racer, and me. You know, like, and we're going to the same rodeo, and we're all helping each other out. Like I've gone and pulled bull ropes for me mates and stuff like that, and they've pushed steers out for me in the team rope, and it's very family orientated in Australia, where in America it's all about getting to the finals, and it's still about getting to the finals in Australia, but we sort of like, oh, we got to make do because we're traveling together. We got to figure it out.
Yeah, so it's more, definitely more camaraderie over in
Yeah,
Australia.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And everyone in Australia wants to see their mate beat them too. So like a a good example, I saw a bunch of bull riders that I know travel up to our biggest rodeo in Mount Isa, and they won first, second, and there was three of them in the car. They won first, second, and third, and it paid really well. So I don't know, them boys might have went on a holiday to the casino or something the next weekend, but yeah, no, they had a good weekend.
it, can you make a living just strictly doing the rodeo, or
Some
it's
do,
a
some don't.
tough grind? Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
be
it
like,
doesn't pay as well as American rodeos do, but some people get by on it, but I couldn't. That's why I got into singing. I can use the singing to fund a bit of rodeoing, but even then, I think I'm slowing up a bit, and I'll just stick to doing the bigger ones. And who knows, I'll snag a check and might make it back to finals. But all them littler shows are sort of going to be hard for me to get to now. Like the plan is to move over there probably next year to the States and give music a hot crack. Um, but yeah,
yeah, man, I saw a video of you, like your first show in Texas, and it was a really cool moment when people started singing the words, and like, you could tell it was, that had to be amazing because like you're
it
you're
wa-
from
it
halfway
it
across the
was.
world.
It was one of the biggest shocks because for a long time, like I was on TikTok and people are using my sound. I'm like, oh, there's so many people in America, but you know, like I'm probably still very niche over there. And like the comments kept coming in, come to Texas, come to Oklahoma, come. I had one person say, come to New York, and I was like, me in New York, I don't think that'd be a reality TV show, you know. But when I was over there for that CMA Fest last year in 2024, I I was with mum and dad, and they were like, "Oh, we should go to Texas so we can buy some ropes and that." Like the first thing Dad wanted to do was go to NRS and Teskey's and buy a new saddle and buy new bridles and that for his horses. And don't get me wrong, I was the same. I reckon I spent about 10 grand at both them shops, American.
Wow.
Um, just because you can't get that stuff in Australia, you got to ship it over here. And we are like, oh, we're already over here, might as well buy it, throw out all of our clothes and put it in our suitcases. Um, and uh, I was talking to a friend, and he's like, you could do a pop-up show in Texas, and I'll help you organize it. And he helped me do all that, and I was like, 20, 30 people might come, some straggler boys on the stockyards at Fort Worth. And outside of Chief Records, we had about 350 people rock up before I'd even picked up a guitar. And I was like, that's crazy. Like, I can't get 350 people to a show in Australia sometimes. But in America, like, there was a dude there who drove 6 hours and lost his job just to watch me play. And I was like,
That's
okay,
awesome.
I need to focus on America because I was singing in Australia for years and like had all those songs out, and they'd only come if I was an hour away, let alone six. Like if the footy was on, sometimes like if the football was on, sometimes people wouldn't come because they're like, no, the footy's on. I'm like, I drove 2 full days to get here to sing, and you can't even rock up.
Yeah.
But America, like I put them tour dates out. I sold Fort Worth out in 24 hours,
Yeah.
you know.
I saw your tour. There's a lot of sold out dates. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a few more. We haven't updated the poster in a minute, but yeah, it's nearly all but sold out.
Yeah,
Um, which is for a first American headline tour for me is like I'm still trying to process it. Like as an Australian going over there and selling out shows like that, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll move here because it's hard to do that in Australia. Like
yeah,
you'd be lucky to sell them out beforehand, if not on the day. Like yeah, it's the music scene over there is well and truly ready. You know, where I think I'll go over there instead of waiting for it to get better here. I can always come home, like
yeah.
this is home for me, so I might as well go while I'm young. I don't have a girlfriend or kids or a house loan or anything. I live out of my cars most of the time when I'm singing on the road.
Yeah. Do you have an area that you have a
Um,
preference for, or
I, I love Texas. Like I do love Texas, but like Texas or Oklahoma for me probably would be a little bit more where I want to be. Um, like I'm pretty happy anywhere. I've been to most places in Texas. I haven't really seen Houston or San Antonio, but I've been to Austin, I've been to Dallas, I've been to Amarillo. Um, I haven't been to El Paso. I want to go to El Paso. I reckon it's a lot like Queensland outback out there. But like anywhere around Texas or Oklahoma would be sort of where I want to set myself up.
yeah,
And I do realize it'd be like going back to the start, like starting over, like like I did in Australia. Like, you'll be supporting people until you can do it big time. And I'm willing to do that. Living out of cars again, like I'm sort of used to that. Might be different in the States because everyone's got guns. I might be trying to hide a little bit more. We don't have guns like yous do.
yeah? That's true. But that was the one like I'm out here. I don't know how well you know our geography. I'm out here in Delaware, and it's in the Northeast, like
Yeah, Delaware.
New,
Yeah,
yeah. And I was really surprised at how many people weren't open carrying in Texas because I thought it would be a lot more because certain parts of my state, it's like it's weird if you don't have something on you. They're like, "Hey, where are you from?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot my uniform." Yeah, like,
yeah.
it's just
It
weird.
it's crazy in Australia. If you were walking around with a gun in public, there'd be SWAT teams called to you.
Yeah,
Like, they wouldn't fuck around with that. Like, they'd be SWAT teams on your ass within 5 minutes. And even then, the only guns you can buy in Australia, you've got to have a license for them and a reason to have a gun. Like, you can't just say for my protection. It's like, oh, I own livestock and I need it for pest control, or I go to gun clubs and I want to shoot targets every Sunday. You got to give good reason, let alone the background checks, and you only get a bolt action. Like you'd know semi-automatics, nothing. It's just bolt action guns.
hmm, yeah. But I've I've been here my whole life.
Yeah,
I've never ran into a problem. But yeah, you should be fine. And then you'll be the next big name in music from Australia. Because I'm trying to think.
Keith Urban's over there, and
Ah,
I don't
dude,
know.
he is Australian, isn't he?
Yeah, I
See,
I sometimes think he sort of doesn't tell everyone that, but I know deep down he's still got his Aussie roots, but I don't think he has as much slang in his voice as I do. Like sometimes in Texas, people just stare at me when I'm talking to them, and they're like, "What'd you say?" Because like I remember when I did the co-headline tour with the Lowdown Drifters, and Australians talk real fast. Like we just spit a heap of words out real quick. That's a part of the slang. Like no space bar, just
yeah,
and I was talking to like Big John, and I'm telling him this stuff, and he goes, "Huh? What?" Like I tell him again, and he's like, "Slow down."
yeah,
What? And like I remember we went to I think it was a In and Out burger, and me and my band are ordering, and like they couldn't understand us, and I was like, "Boys, just come here real quick," and I told them, talk slow like this, and they will understand. And they go, oh, righto, yep, too easy. And they go over there. I would like a number one. Like,
Do you understand the words that are
yeah,
coming out of my mouth?
yeah. We'd finally get the food. They probably think we were dicks, but we're like, that's the only way they could understand us. Like,
Oh, that's funny. It, yeah, like I said, I love the slang. Like, oh, there's a lot of people out there. Yeah, it's chalkers.
there's
What? You
chockers.
know?
Fucking, like even Australian, like if you start a sentence out where I'm from, most people start it with like a swear word. Like they go, "Fucking how you going, mate?" Like you know, like or like "fuck me, dad, that's fucked." You know, like
Yeah,
the word "fuck" is just used every day by nearly everyone. Like
I love it.
I remember some of my school teachers used to say "fuck" in like class, like, and it was like, "Yeah, it's fine," like it's fine. Like probably got them in trouble then, but I'm out of school. But like yeah, like it's Australian slang, especially going over there. Like one of your big no words that you can't say the C word, and we drop that every day. Every day, I'll call my best friend the C word. Like that's a normal thing. I'll be like, "What's going?" You like, you know, like that's how we greet each other. Like my sister's called me the C word more times than I can count.
That's funny. Yeah,
Like it's
that's
just
like
normal.
it's like so alien to us.
Mm.
That's like if you're at a bar and you're like, hey, if you want to fight a female, whoop,
Yeah.
there's your sign. Or they really drive
See,
the
like,
point home.
there's no like word in Australia that can really offend someone like a swear word like that. But if you call someone champ, oh, it's
Champ?
on. Champ, like, yeah, good on you, champ. And you're like, what do you call me? Like,
No, I didn't know that. I'm
yeah,
writing that one down.
do not call anyone in Australia champ because that's fighting words. That's like, yeah, you're trying to stir him up. You're trying to piss him off so you can go outside and throw fists. Like, champ, or in some context, like if you go, yeah, thanks, legend, like a bit sarcastically, they're like, fuck you, like, you know, like
Oh,
I remember some fan at Tulsa like send me down the front. I was signing stuff, and he's like, "Thanks, champ." And I remember just like,
oh,
but then I remember, this is America, like,
yeah, the cultural
yeah,
divide.
yeah. I was about to blast on this dude, like I was about to I was about to punch the shit out of him, but I was like, "Hang on, this is America, like that doesn't translate well." And I was like, "All good, bro." Like.
Yeah.
Just passed him his thing back and just kept walking. I was like, I got back on the tour bus and I was like, told the boys, I was like, some dude in there called me champ, and my bass player goes, "Did you knock him out?" And I was like, "Nah, because like a different, I think it's a different meaning over here." And he's like, "Hey, I would have knocked him out."
That's funny. Oh man, that would have been a pretty funny tabloid. You know.
Oh, it's I've had some pretty wild news stories about me in Australian country music, like we've got a news source called Country Town, and they post about a lot of country music news, and like they'll be like, "Oh, this person's releasing this single, and this person's going to this festival, they're headlining," and then down below it'll be like, "Wade Forster has pneumonia after rodeo injury," like stuff like that. The last funny one I had was like, it was like, this person's headline and that this person's releasing this single. Wade Forster falls off stage, like like stuff like that. Because my shows are pretty lively, and yeah, I'd I'd rather go down swinging and doing everything I can. So them funny headlines to me, that's like, yeah, I'm working for it.
Yeah. So you're very lively on stage.
Oh yeah, like the worst part is if you give me a big enough stage, I'll run around all night. Like my band are used to it now. They're like, okay, get out of the way. Wade's running again. Like, but yeah, if it's a small stage, even then, like I've tried to. I've got a wireless pack on my guitar. I'll go in the crowd during a solo. Like I'll step off the stage and go in the crowd. I've done it before. Like a lot of Australian crowds respect like the barrier. They don't. We don't have a barrier. They just go right up to the stage. So they respect that. So like we don't really have any dramas with that. Like I could literally jump off the stage, go down to the bar, buy a beer, walk back, and they just let me straight through. It's pretty good like that.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
think
like,
I'd be able to do that in America. I might get swarmed.
ah, you never know. It, it's weird. It's like some bands are known for some stuff, and some bands are known, don't do that kind of stuff. I guess it's just dependent on what kind of fans you have.
Yeah, true. Like I did want to the I like a lot of drinks over there, and drinking in Australia is like pretty normal. Um, our drinking culture, like I would say, I would love to see just five fresh out of school 18-year-old blokes go up against a whole frat house in America. And by like let's say they start Friday morning, by Sunday night, them Aussies are like, God, these bastards are in bed. What's going on? Because I remember being out of school and like, you'd go to say like I'd done 2 months work non-stop at a cattle station. I'm like, I'm going to Townsville for the week. I'd turn the phone off. I'd go rogue. We'd be drinking every day, every night, and drink until you nearly got no money, and you're like, all right, I got enough money to get me home. I'm going back to work.
That's funny. And
Like, and the American drinks that I liked over there is Dos Equis and Twisted Tea.
there's okay. This like is pretty good. Twisted Tea, yeah, that can sneak up on you. Now at
Oh yeah,
Queensland,
it's snuck up on me a few times in
yeah,
Texas.
yeah, it goes down so smooth. And in Queensland, it's uh Bundy.
Yeah, Bundy Bear.
Yeah, okay.
It's it's um it's 50-50 how people react to Bundaberg rum. It's either fighting juice, like it just makes them want to fight, or the other side of it. And I'm happy I'm on this side of it. When I'm had like 20 or 30 Bundys, I'm looking at my best friend. I'm like, man, you're my best friend. I love you. I'd fucking do anything for you. Like, there's two sides of it, and you learn pretty quick which side of it you're on. Um, like I know for a fact that one of my mates, like he cannot drink it. He'll have two, and he's like, all right, Wade, you and me out front. And I was like, we're best friends. He's like, don't care. He'd be like, you left the lights on in the kitchen or something. Now we got to fight because I had one
Yeah,
rum. It's sort of like that.
yeah. I have a friend like that. And it's like, come on, really? Like,
Yeah,
and then you go out, you fight in the bar, you get thrown out, and like over here, I can't. The bouncers would just be like, "You guys are driving home together." I'm like, "Yeah, we're best friends."
yeah.
you know, yeah, you guys are
Like
just punching each other in the face. It's like, yeah.
I've seen some pretty cool. Like, see, we don't call them bars in Australia. They're called pubs. Like, I don't know if you've heard that slang. So at a few pubs, like out of school after I left school and like going out with my mates. I've seen some of like I've seen boxing on TV. I've seen UFC, and I was like, dude, some of these blokes I hang around, they could hold up in a ring. Like there's one mate, and God forbid he ever gets in another fight, but like he dead set. I reckon he could make like a UFC roster. I've seen him kick a dude in the shin, break his shin. I'm like, oh God. We got to get you out of here. And he's like, no, I'm going to wait for his friend to come out. And I was like, no, you've already done enough. Like, let's go. You got to force him into the car. Like, let's go before the cops get here. Like,
That's funny.
but like, yeah, the drinking culture is so different. And like, I've learnt that pretty quick in America. Like, when I was at the Kojo thing, I had a hotel room and like near the rodeo arena, and they'd all go back to their trailers and have dinner. And I'm like, all right, I had a few beers at the bar. I'm gonna have a few in the motel room. And there was a 7-Eleven across the road, and I was like, I'm out of cigarettes, and went across there, and I didn't know you could buy alcohol in gas stations. that's so different in Australia. Like you've got to go to this specific place to buy alcohol in Australia, like a bottle o.
Yeah,
But
it's
like,
different. It's different between every state. It's
oh, it
really
is.
weird. Yeah, here it's not sold in gas stations. It's sold at the
Bottle
bottle
shops.
is over here would be the liquor store. But if you go to PA, it's a state store. It's ran by the state, and you have to like I don't know if they've laxed on it, but sometimes like you have to buy like you know 12 beers, and you have to walk that back to your car and walk back to buy more. It's like there's so many like
Oh, there's like a limit.
yeah, a lot of them are like called like blue laws because a lot of the laws around here they're from like the Quakers and all those old religious type things. It's just yeah, and in some places, like you said, it's at the servo at the gas station
At the servo.
where yeah, and and even I get excited because it's like it's nice. It's one stop shopping.
Yeah. I think the first thing most Australian cowboys do when they get to America is they go to either a Walmart or a gas station and they buy like two full rolls of Copenhagen and like a carton of Michelob Ultras. I think that's the most standard Australian thing to do when they get to
Really,
America. Yeah.
that's
The
interesting.
first time everyone goes over, they try Coors Light, and Coors compared to Australian beer, eh, I reckon Australian beer is still better, but yeah, um, Coors and Michelob are probably the closest thing to an Australian beer.
Huh? Yeah,
We don't drink Fosters. Everyone thinks we
I
drink
I
Fosters.
know. I was gonna say that like that's like a typical American. Like we call them oil cans. They're the big gigantic
Yeah,
cans of Fosters. Because for years that's what Foster's Australian for beer.
yeah,
And
and I reckon that's half the reason why people get my last name wrong because they're like, "Oh, it's Foster's like the beer." I'm like, "No, there's an R there. It's Forster." Like, you know, but every time I've been over there, they're like, "Oh, do you want a Foster's?" I was like, "No, fuck." It's like, why do I want that shit? Like we've got it in Australia, and I don't think I've ever seen an actual Australian drink it. Like,
yeah,
I reckon it's probably good for beer battering fish, and that's it.
that's funny, man. The power of marketing. That's like we have Outbacks out here. Like
Yeah, we don't have Outback
yeah,
Steakhouse. Like, that's a rare thing. I think I've seen one in Australia, and it's like I don't even think it's a part of the chain. I think it's just oh, this is like Outback Steakhouse. And yeah, like uh one of the Lowdown Drifters band members, they were like, "Oh, have you ever had a bloomin' onion?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And they're like, "It's Australian." I'm like, "No, it's not."
it's not.
I was like, "That's American."
Oh, it is funny because like and another thing, a lot of people would probably base everything they know about Australia on Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
Like
Crocodile Dundee, like the movie was actually filmed like 150 k's away from my house, like not far at all. And in Australian terms, that's like very close. Like I I noticed that too in America. Like you've got so many towns in between places
yeah,
where like from my cattle station to my house is an hour drive. Let
that's nuts.
cattle station to my hometown, sorry, is an hour drive, and then the next town over is 2 hours. You know, you'll go out of phone service for like a whole hour if you need to. Like, there's no little towns in between. Like, you got to fuel up every time you get to a town because you might run out of fuel, and there's no one will be passing in a long time unless you're right near the cities. But out
Yeah,
where I am, it's like I don't know how to explain it. It's like compared to America, I haven't been anywhere too rural to compare it to. Like
yeah. You might
what
run
you
out
used to
of
call.
gas on your own property.
Yeah, exactly. I've done that. Trust me, it's not
What's the-
fun. Like sat there in a car for like 5 hours waiting for Dad to go. Oh, Wade hasn't come back yet. I might go check on him. And you
yeah,
find me there, skirt off, just sweating in this car. And like I've converted what it gets to in Fahrenheit for you because you don't understand Celsius a lot of the
yeah,
time. It gets to like 130. out at
Wow.
home. And like I remember one Christmas there, the power went off, and like being 130, no aircon on on Christmas Day wasn't fun. But that's why Australian drinking culture is so good because we find a way to entertain it.
Yeah. Isn't the coffee culture is big
Oh,
down there?
yeah, yeah. Coffee in America, I didn't believe it until I had it. I remember I had it at a motel and it was just in a jug, and I'm like,
This
all
is
right,
shit.
so it's already pre-made, all right, and you put it in, and I was like, this is just burnt water. What the fuck is this? And I remember like coming home and having a proper coffee. Like, there's people's whole jobs is to make like special coffees and stuff like that. Like, oh, you can have a cappuccino, a mocha, chai latte, all that stuff. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but like in winter and a good coffee from like a proper cafe, nothing beats it.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I haven't tried Starbucks in America. Like it could be like that at Starbucks, but I'll try this time. I reckon I'll make my tour manager drive me past a Starbucks.
Yeah. What part of like American culture like what do you have a favorite part like when you went over and you're like, I really like this? Or because our perception is like so wrong of so
Um,
many different places.
I think the big thing that Australians are like attracted to when they go to America is obviously like the guns and stuff. But like for me, I'm a massive sports guy. So for me, I want to go see like a college football game. Like I want to be either I want to be at a Virginia Tech home game or like a Texas A&M home game and just feel the atmosphere like because like I've never been to an American football game, but that shit just gives me so much. Like I get rushed with adrenaline when they're all just screaming like they're diehard fans. And like I've got my favorite team in nearly every sport. Like college, I haven't quite worked out yet because I've worn a Texas A&M championship ring. One of my friends has one, like over in the States, and he's let me wear his championship ring. I'm like, oh, I don't know if it was a championship ring or like a graduation ring. I was like, wow, look at the size of this thing. It was like sticking off my hand like that. I'm like, all right, I got to get into this college football. But like NFL, NBA, I watch that pretty religiously. I haven't got into ice hockey. That's a bit foreign for me. It just looks like boxing on ice. Um, like I don't understand it. Like, if you punch someone in an Australian sport, like you get sent off. Like you go. Like it's got a bit soft in Australia, but back in the day, there was this whole culture in rugby, and it was called the biff. And the biff in Australia is fighting. Like if you're having a biff, you're having a fight. And like if two players were just fighting it out on the field, oh, they're biffing, bring back the biff, hell yeah, punch the shit out of him, Like, there'd be there'd be grown men to kids like, yeah, hit him, like on TV, and like yeah, you get ejected in Australian sports for fighting nowadays, but we watch ice hockey and we're like, God, I miss that. Like, but it's like, yeah, it's just boxing on ice. I don't understand the rules, nothing. Every time I watch it, I'm like, oh yeah, they're throwing the gloves off. Here we go.
Yeah, that's funny. What
But
do you mean they're
like,
offsides?
yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, in my eyes, you should just be able to like pass the the disc or whatever it is up the ice and just bang it into the net. I don't understand offsides. It's like soccer, and everyone thinks like all us European nations are into soccer. Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
not soccer. Yeah, it's all rugby or cricket.
I was gonna say cricket is probably big over there.
Cricket's
Which
cricket's like our baseball. Like for yous, it would be so boring to watch, but for us, it's like it's our summer sport. Like on boxing, like the day after Christmas, like they have a big 5-day cricket match, and I reckon 80% of Australian dads and men like just sit there with a beer and just sit there all day and just watch from like 8 o'clock in the morning till like 6 in the afternoon. They won't even get up, look at anything else. They just watch the TV for hours. And I've tried to get into baseball. Like I think I think I've found my favorite team. I sort of just go off a few games, watch a few games, but I think I like the Padres. Is that a baseball team? I think I'm right.
I've,
The
I,
Padres.
I'm pretty sure you're at the. I don't. I'll play. I'll play any sport, but I can't. I'm not a big TV watch, and like there's. It's not like I agree. Like college, they're playing. Like they're not stepping out of bounds when they got a couple yards to go. They're going to get that first down. They're not worried about getting paid and contracts and all that. Like they're playing for clout. For we're gonna
Yeah,
you know
you're gonna beat the shit out of them motherfuckers. Like,
yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Yeah, like I do like if I do watch anything like I'll go to Penn State and Penn State it's a gigantic 100,000 people can fit in that stadium and
I
that
got
I will
I
go.
got college football on my Xbox, and I played them in my career mode, and it's like that song, oh, 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 and I just like I remember like I was like, God, like their chants are pretty like cool, but like they try to say, oh, we've got the best culture. I went to England when I was playing rugby at school, and the culture there for their sports, like you'll be say you do something wrong, like there'll be grown men calling kids like wanker, like like piss off you wanker, like it's stuff like that. Like the culture's so different. Where sports over there, he's like, yeah, I ride and die for my team. We are Texas, all that, and it's like teams in European nations are like, that fuck Parramatta, like bunch of dogs, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like over here we call them hooligans.
Yeah,
That's
well, we don't really have hooligans. They're more or less just thugs. Like,
thugs.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a term we use too. That's funny. But it's cool. Like Penn State, they do like whiteout games. Everybody wears white. It's just it's
100,000
so,
people wearing white.
it's incredible.
Crazy.
It's like you sit down and it's just man, because like I'm not a big fan of crowds. So like a couple like it was like 15 minutes of sheer terror, because
Yeah, yeah,
if someone was to crack off, man, like that's a lot of
yeah.
people.
You got
They-
nowhere to go. Yeah,
yeah, and nobody's stopping that many people. If they all, somebody had enough charisma to round them up to all have one task, that they're wherever they go, they are the law.
yeah,
So, but it is cool, man, because like even as the fans, you didn't go there to see your team lose. And God forbid you see somebody else wearing that other jersey, even if you have no affiliation with it. It's
yeah,
just an environment where, we're right, you're wrong. And their side is we're right, you're wrong. So it's this there's just hardly any middle ground I've always seen with going to like American sports events, because that's why I don't go, because it's
yeah,
crazy, because a lot of the Texas guys will come up here, and God forbid, because Philadelphia and Dallas, they have a thing. I don't know anything about it, and the dude's from Dallas. He's wearing a Dallas Cowboys, and they'll sing the song, the chant, and it's just like it gets like, dude. I'm like, my life's on the line saying this.
yeah,
Philly
yeah,
fans are crazy, but it's like, I, man, I did like. I wish I could roll my eyes harder. Just like, come on, man. Like, dude, like it's not game day. We're watching, we're watching Texas country,
yeah,
which yeah, which I love. Like, I love how inclusive it is, because like you definitely could say, hey, I'm Wade from Australia, and I do Texas country, because
yeah,
they value like authenticity, and it's real. You can, and when you go to the credits and it says composer, there's one name on pretty much all your songs, and it's your name, which in country, it that means a lot, a
yeah.
lot, a lot. And it's
I never really liked writing with other people for a long time, and a lot of my songs I still would rather write them myself. But like, sometimes you make a good story or tell a good story to, one of your friends, and they're like, we should write about that. And I'm like, sure, but if we do a really bad version of it, I'm just gonna do my version of it, you know. Um, like I reckon I've only ever done three co-writes. Every other song I've wrote myself. And like this new album that we announced today is like it's got 22 songs on it. Like
Oh wow.
like I've been sitting on some of these songs since I released the first album. Like I got home from recording the first album, and I think a couple of days later I wrote another song. Like yeah, I wrote Off the Drugs like as I got back from recording the beginning. Like I I, I have so many stories from rodeo and like playing rugby in school and even doing this music thing and incorporating all those things together. I've lived a pretty cool life at 26, like to be able to tell some of these stories like and people resonate with them, like that's the best job ever.
Yeah.
And especially I think it is a little token to a lot of Americans because when I was releasing these songs, I wasn't talking on TikTok like doing videos like this or anything. And it wasn't until I won the Toyota Star Maker contest in Australia, which is like the country music version of uh I don't know, like American Idol or something like that. And I won that last year, and a video of me on TikTok talking went viral online, and all the comments are like, "He's Australian." They're like, "I thought he was from Texas," and then there was like a whole comment thread, like 20 comments long, and I read it, and it was funny. And they're like, "I thought he was from Montana because you don't see him much. Like, I thought he was up in Montana somewhere." And I'm like, I haven't even been to these places.
Yeah.
Like, like I'm not putting the accent on. It's like I grew up listening to that type of country music, so for me, that was just how I normally sang. So yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean, a few people in Australia don't like how I sing with a bit of a American accent, but that's how I learnt to sing. I learnt singing American country songs. I grew up listening to American country songs. And that's what I'll be. I don't think I fit in the Australian country music scene at all.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think I'm like a whole different thing. Like Australian country music is still, in my eyes, very bro country. There is a lot of good storytellers in Australian country music, and they are very good. But the majority of it is very bro country, very Nashville country, um, which obviously isn't everyone's cup of tea, but
Yeah.
there's only a few of us doing that, country rock or, Texas country style. And it's like I think it'll come around sooner or later that it'll come a bit more popular, but until then, I think I'm probably gonna go over there to the land of Texas and
Yeah.
rodeo and sing
Oh
until
yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. If that's the Australian scene, oh yeah, you definitely need to come over here
Yeah.
and
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 like this tour is going to be fun because I'm going to see some places that I would never have got to see. And the people we got on the tour with us, like, God, they're all cool. Like Shelby Stone. I remember when you were doing your podcast with Shelby, and I woke up and I was outside having a cigarette and the coffee. It was cold in winter, and I'm scrolling TikTok. And I see it, and I texted Shelby. I was like, "I'm watching you, motherfucker." She's awesome. The
yeah.
first time I met her, I think we were in Kansas City, Missouri, and I pissed the crowd off that night because I said, "Hello, Kansas," not knowing that Kansas City was in Missouri, not in Kansas.
Yeah.
Which
That.
in an Australian's head, that's like that's stupid.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I
Yeah.
I think I think you have a very valid point.
Yeah, and I got off stage because Shelby was with Dalton Domino, who's God, one of the coolest dudes I ever met. And we get off stage and the Lowdown Drifters are up there playing. And I remember me and Shelby are backstage and we're just chatting. And I'm like, oh, I rodeo. And she's like, oh, my dad used to rodeo. And I was like, oh, what'd your dad do? And she was like, he was a PRCA bullfighter. And I was like, oh, he's a tough motherfucker. Holy shit. And like me and Shelby just got along from the jump. Like, and when I said I'm doing this tour, she's like, if you need anyone, let me know. And the minute it come around, oh, you need some openers, I'm like, call Shelby Stone up. She's awesome. So she's doing a few shows with us. We got Cade Hoffman, who's just like me, just old cowboy type, you know. Cade messaged me the other day. He's like, "Hey man, would I be able to jump in the tour bus with you? Because my car, I just got in a car accident. My car's totaled." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude, for sure." And he's like, "I'll pay for fuel, all that." And I was like, "I don't need you to do all that. Can you just drive? Because Australians driving in America is like, yeah, it's so different because we're left side of the road and you're the right
Yeah,
side." And I've done it, don't get me wrong. I didn't find too much trouble with it. The one thing that I struggle with is the four-way stop intersection.
yeah,
And it's like a courtesy thing. But then some people aren't courteous and they're just, nah, fuck.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm in the wrong. Like, it's so bad. But yeah, we got Shelby and Kate Hoffman, Travis Roberts, who's an amazing songwriter. Dude just released an album and it's unreal. Um, and in Australia, we got Tori Forsyth, who I think you'd like a lot of her music. She, the best way to explain it for me is she's Del Rey went country, but the right way, not just Lana Del Rey doing a country song. No, like this girl between Tori Forsyth and Shelby Stone, those are the two most frightening women I've ever ever laid eyes on. They, Shelby scared the shit out of me a little bit. She was sort of big dogging me a bit, but she's beautiful and elegant and all that. And same with Tori. Tori was a bit like that as well. The first time I ever met Tori, I thought she hated me. We were at this music festival in Outback Queensland, like closer to home than it is for them. And I was like, "Hey, I'm Wade. Nice to meet you." And she's like, "Tori," and I'm like, "Did I piss her off somehow?" And no, apparently that's just how she is. She's actually really nice. And I was like, "Oh," I tell her every time, I'm like, "You scared the shit out of me," and she's like, "I know," like she's proud of it. um, but yeah, like this tour is gonna open up some doors for us, and we're just keen to get out there. And God, like, I wish the album was going out the same time as the tour, but that was sort of my fault. I didn't have everything ready. But still, we're going to play a lot of unreleased music on this tour, and I hope people really enjoy it because it was a lot of fun making that album. We smashed out those 22 songs in a week. We recorded that in a week in Australia,
Wow,
Monday to
that
Friday.
that's that's incredible. That
And the best thing was like I recorded that album, like my voice was buggered, and that Saturday I had to pick the boys up from the airport and we went and headlined a rodeo that next day. Actually, we did two gigs that weekend. We went to Oberon Rodeo and then drove I think 4 hours south of there and then played another festival. Like pretty big week. Um
yeah,
but like shit in Australian country music, like there's a lot of people that are doing it, but they also got a job and they're I don't know. It's like they're not backing themselves. You're not obviously not going to make money straight away, but you need to give it your all. Like when I first got into it, I quit working for dad. I told dad I quit, and I want to do this music thing. And geez, I was living on crumbs, and and to get out the other side and do it like this, and young people ask me like, "Oh, how do I get into it?" And I'm like, "You got to quit your job and live tough, like,
yeah,
because that's how." it sometimes you get lucky and you have a breakout song and you take off from there. But I grew up in the outback, so I was doing all my gigs in the outback where the music scene is not existent at all. Like you're playing in a pub and you could have your speakers at 10 and they're talking over that. Like, you know, you're just playing you're not playing for tips or anything like that. The bar, you'll rock up there and the publican or the bar owner, he'll give you like $500 for the day. And in Australia, and like $500. That's like a tank of fuel, a packet of cigarettes, and your groceries for the next week. That doesn't even include rent, like um, because cigarette prices over here are pretty high. It freaks a lot of Americans out. So like packet of cigarettes in America is like $2, $3 for a packet of 20. Australian, a packet of 20 is like 60, 70, 80.
That's guess what?
But yeah,
Guess what I
th
wouldn't do.
yeah. Well, Australia, I still do it, but when I go to America, I'm worse for it because I'm like, yeah, they're $2. Buy 10 packs. But the music scene over here, I've enjoyed it, but I think it is time for me to move, like I said. And this tour is going to be a good test to see what markets I'll do well in. What states.
Yeah,
I know Arizona's very pissed off at me because I didn't put a show in Arizona. Like my TikTok is like nearly 80% of its comments like, yeah, but he's not coming to Arizona. I'm like, I'm trying. Like, you just got to let me figure this out first. Like,
yeah,
um, Arizona and California and Montana are really pissed off. Oh, and Chicago, weirdly enough. I didn't know there was country music in Chicago. All I know
yeah.
about Chicago is Derrick Rose and Michael Jordan.
Okay, yeah. That's
Just basketball. Like,
yeah,
I'm pretty big basketball. Of all them sports, it'd be basketball for me. So that's all I know Chicago for. I didn't
yeah,
know there was country music there.
yeah. I didn't know that either because like the first thing when I think Chicago, I think Chicago style pizza, which is like more like a
Is that
lasagna,
that
and
deep dish?
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
want to try that.
yeah, and Chicago hot dogs, Chicago dogs. They have like I guess it's just like the peppers and whatnot. I don't know.
Oh
I've
yeah,
never been
yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
never been to Chicago, but that's what I think when I think
Yeah.
Chicago. I don't know why I would think it would have like a big like blues scene. I don't
It.
know why that
Uh,
comes to mind.
I don't know. I always think blues is like Louisiana,
Yeah, all that
like yeah,
Delta,
like that
Mississippi around that area.
Delta. Yeah, and like Memphis, it's blues too, isn't it? Very blues based.
Yeah, I, I've heard that. I don't think I've ever been to Memphis. Yeah, Southern Rock is definitely its own kind of thing. But it's
Man, getting into like when I got into this music scene and I got into more like American country, like I'm deep diving and I'd find these unreal artists. And I've been following you since like 2020. Like I remember I used to comment, I'm like before like any of my songs blew up, I'm like, please look at my song, please. Like and I was like, he's not listening to me. But he did once and I was like, oh awesome. I was on there. Yes. Like but I
did
got
I
into deep diving. Yeah, you did Fight in Tears. You did
okay. That's the only one I've done. I've
yeah.
really because I've my Fight in Tears. That I love that song. The structure of that song. It's also like one of those ones that are very bittersweet. Where like if you're just listening to music, you're gonna be smiling and dancing, and then you're gonna hear the lyrics and go, "Oh my god!" But I
Yeah,
love how
it's
it dum dum dum, and I love the arpeggiation of that guitar. Tick, 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 tick. It's just the
yeah.
rhythm of it has a cool. And I think my favorite song of yours, man, it's got to be either Black Sheep or One Night Stand. Which
One Night Stand. I had a lot of fun with that song.
yeah, that
Um,
definitely it screams like it's got. I would say, oh, Red Dirt, but of
yeah.
course, oh, there's
I
your
mean, we got
Australian. Can't say Red
we
Dirt.
got Red Dirt in Australia. I mean, it
Oh
just
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
mean the same thing.
Make sure you
Um,
bring it and be like, look.
I am Red Dirt. But One Night Stand. That's probably one of the funniest stories I've ever got to write about in a song. When I was, so I would have been 18 or 19, like fresh out of school. And like I'd moved up to Mount Isa for that job, but we all us young fellas used to drive like an hour and a half to this other town nearby called Cloncurry, and we used to drink at this old pub run by this lovely old couple, and like they owned the pub for years. Like my mum and dad used to drink in there when they were like 18, stuff like that, and it was called the Post Office Hotel, and all of us young fellas used to just jam in there, God, we did a heap of stupid shit in there. Like we we stole a jukebox from there once, like one of them old CD jukeboxes that plug in the wall, and we put it in out because there was rooms out the back you could stay in, and we put it in there, and we rewired it so we had free songs. And Nancy, the owner, found out. She's like, "All right, now you've got to work for me. I could ban you, or you could just do some work for me, and we'll do the work because we want to be back here next weekend." Um, and stuff like that. So when I went down there one weekend, um, I was a I was a cowboy. I was a young cowboy in Australia. So girls was all I was thinking about, and I slept with this girl on the Friday night, and she was the polar opposite to me. I was cowboy, she was like a hippie. Um, and then I slept with her friend the next night, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm cool as, like, that was cool as, and didn't think of any repercussions because I was so young. And then on the Sunday night, I was just having a few beers there before I had to go back to work Monday. And I'm sitting outside talking to a friend, and next minute I feel bang on the back of my head. And the girl from the Friday night had actually smashed a glass bottle over my head. And
Oh,
yeah, and I never talked to them again. I was like, all right, learnt my lesson there. And then years went by, and then I was writing songs, and I was like, I need to write a song about that. That's funny. I was just in a car, and I was like, because I was like talking to one of my friends on the phone, and he was like, "Oh, I remember that time," and he brought it up, and I was like, "Yeah, that only ended up being a one night stand." And then he goes, "Yeah, one night stand. That's all you wanted, right?" And I was like, "One night stand. That's all I'll be." And that's how that line. I remember like writing the line down on a receipt, and I reckon I've still got the receipt in the car. My car's full of receipts. And I got home, and like mum and dad are like, "Oh, hey, Wade, how you going?" Like trying to, I haven't seen me in a couple of weeks. I was like, "Good, good. I've got to go because I want to go write this song. I've got an idea." And I wrote that song that afternoon, went back, showed my mum, and she's like, uh, she didn't really like it because she's like, "It's a bit graphic, like talking about one night stands." I'm like, "Yeah, but the people will like it."
yeah.
And then when I went down to record it, um, the the band that were in there, I've used them for everything, like Fighting Tears a lot, and they were like, "Oh, so you want acoustic on this?" I was like, "No, no acoustic." And they were like, "So what do you want?" I was like, I looked in the studio, and they had a Fender double humbucker set up there, and I'm like, "Play that," and I want you to jam open chords. And he was like, "All right." And at the start, that jack feedback, I heard that from a Grinspoon song, like, and I was like, all right, I want to do that. And I remember like doing it. That's the only instrument I've ever played in the studio because my guitar skills aren't up to spec. And I'm like, I remember like, all right, hit record, and I'm like pretending to mess the jack up, and like, and then just hit the open strings for that start bit. And I was like, yes, I've contributed instrumentally to a song. And yeah, that was a fun song. Like, to release. Even the music video, like I shot the music video in the same town, and even where in the music video where I get glassed in the music video, like hit with the bottle, is in the exact same spot it happened. Like I made sure everything was in the exact same spot. Like we tried to use the same houses, but they'd been sold, and but like we just had to use some of my mates' houses in town. So, but that was a great song. To that was I had a lot of fun with that song.
Yeah, it's a jam, and I guess in Australia we call that a ripper, a,
Nah, banger.
a banger. Yeah, dude, we use that too.
Or tune, like Tune, tune, like that's a tune, bud. But it always sounds like CH. Like you'll be driving in a car and someone's playing a song, and you're like, oh, that's a tune. What's that called? That's like, yeah. If I said that in America, they'd be like, "You want tuna?" Like,
Oh man, that's funny. That's a funny story. It's the song too. That's
yeah. And like a lot of them songs that I've wrote are about something that's happened, or I've heard. Like the album that we just announced that's coming out today, it's called Gooseneck Party. Um, it so in Australia, like a gooseneck horse trailer that you take to rodeos, and at a rodeo, to be in a gooseneck, like carting horses around, you got an esky full of beer, like a cooler. We call it an esky, like where you put all your beers and ice in, and like after the rodeo's done, they never plan these things, by the way. That you'd just be at the bar and the bar shuts, and you go, rightio, we're going to Wade's camp, Wade's Gooseneck, and you go there, and there'll be, God, 50 to 100 cowboys just sitting around drinking, doing doing whatever for fun. Like I've seen some wild things at gooseneck parties. I've seen fights. I've actually seen people like relationships start and then they get married a couple of years later. And I was like, I was there that night. You know, I've seen uh we have contests on like motorized scooters and like people riding horses bareback and people doing burnouts in cars. It's so it's such a staple in Australian rodeo is like, oh, we're having a gooseneck party. But you'll never be able to plan one if you go, oh yeah, come, we're going to have a gooseneck party at this rodeo. If you plan it, no one rocks up. It's always just on a random night. You didn't think anything was going to happen, and the gooseneck party happens. And that's where I've heard a lot of these stories from friends, or even some of my stories have been told at gooseneck parties. And it's just it's a part of who I was as a young fella, and it's still a part of me now. Like if I go to a rodeo and I'm at the bar, I know, yeah, all right, we'll just see who's got the most beers at whose camp, and that's whose gooseneck party we're having. And like the songs on there are all either true songs or stories that I've heard around trailers. There's only one song on there that I didn't hear at a trailer, but I was at home and I was watching a Western on Netflix, and I can't remember what Western it was, but I remember I had this like weird, vivid dream about it, and like I was in it and all this, and I wrote a song about it, and it's called Cody, Wyoming. I couldn't think of a town cool enough, and I was like, oh, I need to think of a town, and then it was the same time that the 100 Days of Rodeo were happening at Cody, Wyoming. So I was like, oh, perfect. I'll just use that town name for this story. And yeah, it's a bit more Culture Wall style, that song, but the rest of it, yeah, it's a pretty diverse album. Like it goes from country rock to, you know, that nice Brooks and Dunn slow down. It goes up and down. Same at the beginning. Like the beginning had them rock songs, and then it had other types of songs. It's hard. I don't really stick to one sound. I'm like, I'll try a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, this album, I hope people resonate with it as much as me and the Australian Cowboys will, because the Gooseneck Party is like the holy trinity of parties in my eyes. Like you could go to the nightclubs and all that, but you ain't partied unless you've had a Gooseneck Party.
Yeah, dude, that's the first time I've ever heard that phrase. I love it. I hope.
Well, we
I,
released a song today too, like called Gooseneck Party. So check it out after you.
okay, yeah, definitely. It.
And it explains exactly what a gooseneck party is. Like you'll go to the rodeo, you'll travel 8 hours to go to this rodeo one way, and you go there and you miss or you buck off, and you've just got the shits, and there's only one thing that you could think of that'll make you feel better, and it's just having a gooseneck party. And like they just it's almost like tailgating, I would say. If I could compare it to something, it's like tailgating at sports over there, except it's in a horse trailer, and there's no bins. Like everyone just sort of drinks their beer, crushes it, leaves it on the ground next to them, and whoever's gooseneck that was at, their whole morning the next day is like, God, look at all these beer cans.
There's all
They got to clean up all these beer cans, and there's cigarette packets everywhere, and you know, sometimes the best thing I've ever found at a gooseneck party was my mate's hat, and it was just like this brand new cowboy hat, and it was just crushed flat. It looks like he's got too drunk and laid backwards and just fell on it, and then got up to the toilets and left it. Like, stuff like that. And that song that released today, along with the album announcement, it epitomizes what a real gooseneck party is.
Yeah, it's funny. So hopefully it catches on. Like if you go to a Wade show, you're not tailgating. We're
No, yeah, we're
having
having a gooseneck party.
we got somebody's got to roll up. Someone's got to
Yeah,
roll up with a gooseneck.
someone bring their big X's. We got. Don't worry about putting horses in there. Just put coolers. You just call them coolers, right? Like the
Yeah,
like where
yeah,
you put beer and ice in. That's a
hmm
cooler.
yeah.
Because in Australia it's an esky. It's so foreign for me to say that. Like cooler. I don't even know. Cooler's not a word in Australian.
Yeah, especially with the weather, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's all it would be. Yeah, it's getting cooler. Like, um,
That's funny.
but like, um, yeah. It's a week to the day today we fly out for America, and I think the first thing I want when I'm there is probably Whataburger or In and Out.
Oh man, I've always wanted to try In and Out and and Whataburger. I haven't had either of them. And
I like Whataburger more, but my
okay,
band they prefer In and Out,
yeah,
and it's sort of an ongoing argument between me and my band. Like we're like, no, we're going to Whataburger, no, we're going to In and Out, and I'm like, well, I can't win because it's 3-on-1. You know, next time we're going to Whataburger, or I'm sacking you, like you,
yeah,
you know.
that's my
And they're
name on the
like,
marquee.
yeah, I have to like stamp my foot down just so I can get some Whataburger.
Listen here, champs.
Yeah.
Get fucking Whataburger. For a while, I just the first time I saw the sign, I was like, I couldn't tell the difference between like Waylon Jennings, the W for him, and the Whataburger. I was just like,
Oh, it's very similar, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, wait a minute, it
He's
can't be
got
a
a chain.
store. Yeah, it can't be a store totally dedicated to Waylon Jennings, can it? And yeah, but
Jesus.
people rave about we like that's the one thing about the U.S. is you just some things you can't get everywhere, and that like fast In and Out is like that's a big one for us up here in the Northeast, and Whataburger definitely that's definitely very very foreign to us because I'd never heard Whataburger before until I went down there, and but yeah, In and Out for some reason I don't know how I knew about that. Probably because they're big in California, and I had a bunch of friends that moved to California and talk about it.
Yeah. Um, it's crazy that like your fast food chains are like just in certain spots. See, in Australia, like our biggest fast food chain is McDonald's. Like we don't have In and Out or Whataburger.
Macca's.
Yeah, Macca's. Yeah,
Yeah,
we have Macca's, and then KFC. That's Dirty Bird. You call
the
it Dirty
Dirty
Bird.
Bird. Yeah,
Yeah, and then we got Burger King, but it's called something else. Like it's the exact same franchise. So you call it Burger King, we call it Hungry Jack's, and that's the
okay.
actual name of it in Australia. But its slang is HJs, and like yeah, we don't have like Dairy Queen. I want to try Dairy Queen. Apparently that's cool. Um,
Yeah.
um, I remember Cody Johnson made me try Chick-fil-A, and hell yeah, Chick-fil-A shits on KFC. I would eat Chick-fil-A every day if I could. And that like you get the burger and you get the sauce and oh
Yeah.
goddamn. I'm too excited to go to America now. All I'm gonna do is eat.
Yeah. And a lot of people talk about like the the portion size of when
Yeah.
they get their food. They're like, you you guys eat this
It's
every
like
day?
it's like a liter. Like I remember holding a Whataburger cup up to my head and it was the same size. I was like, holy shit. Like it's like I'll piss myself before I finish this thing.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy the portion size. I remember at school they made us watch the Super Size Me documentary,
Oh yeah.
and the first thing I wanted to do when I first went to the States, I was like, I'll go to McDonald's, I'll get this super size, and they don't have it anymore. I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. They got rid of it. I don't think any of the chains. I don't really eat fast food anymore. But yeah, I don't think there's definitely like medium, large, but I can't really think of anything that's just like over
So
the
your
top anymore.
small is our large.
Yeah, that's
That's the portion size difference. Like I got a large, like yeah, in Australia, and then go to America, that's a small. Like
yeah,
I'm like, oh, all right, I get a small, and like people that I'll be traveling with in America, they'll be like, you only want a small? And I'm like, yeah, I want a small. Like I've seen the portion size. I don't think I could finish a large. And they're like, all right, but we ain't pulling over again if you get hungry. I'm like, I'm fine. I think that's enough. Like,
That's funny. Yeah, it it is interesting. Like, I mean, I've never been to Australia. I don't even know what I probably definitely probably wanted to hit the coffee scene first
oh
because
yeah,
I lived by it was a restaurant that was owned by an Australian man, and it like I've eaten kangaroo chili. They had all kinds of.
kangaroo. Everyone raves about like
I just was like,
the treaty. I was on the phone to Sam Canty not long back, and he's like, I wanna try kangaroo. I was like, no, you don't. He goes, hell yeah, I do. And I was like, you can, I'll take you out. We can go shoot them. And he goes, oh yeah, I'll shoot kangaroos. Like, because like that's normal in Australia. And he's like, do we eat them after? I was like, no, you just leave them there. I don't want to touch them.
yeah, yeah. I
But
was just kind of like,
I remember I was on Instagram and when the Treaty Oak tour announced in Australia, and Austin Mead commented like, "Bring me back some kangaroo jerky." I was like, "All right, I got to find some kangaroo jerky for Austin Mead because
yeah,
I don't know if he'll like it. If he likes it, good on him because I don't like it. I've tried it; it's not great. The best thing I've ate in Australia that I don't know if you eat alligators, but we eat like you can eat crocodile in Australia in certain
yeah,
places, and I've tried crocodile and I liked it, yeah.
yeah,
But it's exactly it tastes exactly like what you feed it. So if it eats birds all day, it's gonna taste like chicken. But if it's like
uh,
if it lives off fish and stuff like that, it's gonna taste like fish. But it is
yeah,
always the texture of fish, like. But yeah, there's a heap of weird stuff you can eat down here. Like,
yeah, yeah. We have gator and I've only had it in gumbo and stuff like that, and we have like low country boils and stuff, and like down there like the gumbo, they'll put anything in gumbo.
yeah,
That's the only.
it's like
It's
a it's like a soup, right?
kind of, yeah. It depends. Some more runny, some are at more thicker consistency. But
Yeah.
yes, stuff like that. That's like my favorite. Like that's seafood boils, all those low country boils, crawfish, and all that. That's like that's like big in the South. But we got little and in New England, they the traditional way they would just do it and like dig a hole in the beach and just cook it all cook it all on the hole in the beach.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I remember eating this dude from Louisiana when I was hanging out with Cody gave me this like duck sausage or something called boudin or something like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
like he was real thick Louisiana accent. He was like Creole accent.
Korea.
Yeah, and
Very hard
he's
to
like,
understand.
yeah, yeah. And even for me, I was like a bit hard to understand him,
Can
but
you
I
talk
remember
slower?
yeah, I remember I just remember everything he said because the next day was torture because of how hot that thing was. Like
Uh
I got so sick from it because of how hot it was. But I just remember like he's like, "You like spice?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Make sure I only eat a little bit of this. This shit gonna burn your ass out." And I was like, "All right."
you gonna
And
hate me
he's like,
tomorrow.
yeah, and he's like, go buy a tub of ice cream at that 7-Eleven down the block there. And I sure as shit did the next day because I was burning. Like, all my insides was like, it felt like I ate chilies all day. Like, it was hot. It
Yeah.
didn't feel hot when I ate it, but yeah. That's another thing about this music thing. I get to try some cool food that I didn't think I would. Like,
Yeah. It's is sausage not big in Australia? What do they call it? Snag?
yeah,
Snags?
snags are pretty popular, but like different thing altogether too. Like, we'd have
Oh, okay.
like bangers and mash is like sausages and mashed potatoes with gravy and onion, like stuff like that. Like I think if I made it big, I'd make a big restaurant in America somewhere just so you can try proper Australian food, like not Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah. Oh, hey, can we get a blooming onion? You can get out.
Man, I I I I want to like yeah do something like that one day, but I think for the time being, I got to focus on this music thing and go over there, like get it all set up first. Like in sorry, the dogs are barking. I'm at my bass player's house in Brisbane. In in America, like there's just so many good artists that I want to see as well that probably don't come to Australia because they don't think they can. But a lot of them American artists, they don't realize they could sell a stadium out like that.
Oh
Like,
wow.
like our stadiums hold, tens of thousands, probably more. I don't know the numbers, but yeah, they're big, big crowds. They could sell them out easy, and like I don't think they realize the push they've got down here. Um, like I want to see like bands like L 60 and Treaty Oak come down here a lot more, and um, God, some other American artists that I'd love to see come down here, like Colter Wall would be great down here. He'd sell a stadium. Jesus, like even them like Cat Hasty and them, they could sell out big down here. But
Yeah.
I don't think that I don't think I don't know if it's like the analytics of like streaming are showing that, but I definitely think all of them could sell out stadiums down here in a heartbeat.
That's awesome. That
Yeah,
it
Australian country music scene really loves what America's doing. So like, we're real like, and a lot of the fans there's this big festival called CMC, and like every year they get some big names on it. Like last year they had John Party and Cody Johnson and Co Wetzel and all that, and like Australians just went straight away, sold it out within like a couple hours. Like that's how quick they sell. And like that's another person I want to see live too is Co Wetzel, man.
yeah. I my
God,
first time I saw Co Wetzel live, I was standing with Kat Hasty. It was awesome. She was giving me all the background, and it was really cool because she's like a big fan. And man, that was really cool. That was at a big. It was at Texas Motor Speedway, which is like a gigantic building. Which I
yeah,
don't know if you ever seen a speedway.
it's like Talladega Nights, right? Like the
That's
big
exact.
speedways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's so much bigger than what you think. Man, it blew me away. Just you feel so small, and at that festival, you were like on the track.
Oh,
It blew
that's
my
cool.
mind that everybody was doing the fake fire, rolling
Yeah.
around. Please don't let the invisible fire burn my friend.
Oh, the amount of times I quote that movie, man. Like I remember, me and Holly, like my sister, we're always riding horses at home, and we're just warming these horses up, and we're having like a little race, just pretending like having a bit of fun. And Holly's just screamed out, "If you ain't first, you're last," and she hits me with a rope. Stuff like that. Like, yeah, we quoted on the daily down here. I think Will Ferrell's one of the funniest men alive.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey, can I just run to the toilet real quick? I've still got
yeah.
lots to talk
Or
about.
you said what?
I still want to talk about music. I
Okay.
just need to run to the toilet.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
getting
I hear.
sidetracked with a lot of cultural stuff. That's my bad.
Yeah,
I'll be
it's
back in
fine.
1 sec.
Back music.
We're back.
The
Finally, we'll get into it.
the music.
I mean, like, I've been watching your stuff for ages, so to be on this podcast, man, that's like, I'm real proud at the moment. Like,
Uh, Dude, it's cool to have you on because I know like a lot of people like what you're doing, and it's really cool to see, especially with like the geographical, the distance, and it's also nice that people just embrace good music. They don't
yeah,
care where it comes from, as long as it's true and authentic. It's going to have a place in the market where that shines through. So
yeah,
it's really
exactly.
cool what you're
And
doing.
I think music's like has no boundaries. Like, I listen to a wide variety of music. Like, I am actually more of a rap guy than anything. I love rap.
Really?
Yeah, I like lyrical rap, like Kendrick Lamar stuff like that. But I've been really lately. I've been deep diving into a lot of like 2000s rock, like getting back into that sort of stuff, because I think that stuff for me, I much prefer playing like the rockier stuff on stage. So like I'm trying to get my head around some more textures and stuff with my new music. But yeah, it is cool to see how far music can take someone. Like, if you told me at school that I was going to be a musician, I didn't even do music at school. Like, I didn't play guitar until I was 18, didn't write a song till I was 20, you know. This is it's all happening real fast, and I'm pretty grateful of where I've got, you know. If it stopped tomorrow, I wouldn't be upset, but, I just want to see how far I can go with it.
Yeah.
The places it's taken me already is insane. Especially as an Australian telling my story to the world, and Americans really embracing, like, instead of going, oh, he's not real country because he's not from here, that it's not like a thing where you're like trying to protect what country is or anything, because other people listen to country in other parts of the world, and the American fans that I do have, they're like, oh man, an Australian singing about this stuff, it's a whole different outlook on things,
Yeah.
Hopefully it opens doors for a lot of other people from other countries as well, not only just mine. There might be some new country singers coming from New Zealand. I know there's a lot of country music over there, and I think England's getting a part of it now, and yeah, it's cool to see. It's really developing.
Yeah. It's wild. You're in a week you're coming over here and touring on a new album.
It's crazy. Like, I still haven't wrapped my head around it. To be playing in the States, where 2 years ago I was playing at pubs in Australia for less than 50 people, and barely, I wouldn't even make money on some of them shows. Like, I'd do it for the exposure. Like, there might be like a big festival on in town, and I'd do it for the exposure. I'm losing $300 just getting there in fuel money, but
yeah,
the grind and all that was all worth it in my eyes. Like, it's paid off all the nights I've slept in cars or on a mate's couch. It went hand in hand with rodeo, so it wasn't a rude shock to me, like the way I had to live to try and get into this music scene. And especially with all the stories I've lived, like, I still haven't wrote about half of the good ones yet, but this album, like, I hope people really enjoy some of these stories, because God, like, a lot of these stories put me, in some pretty dark places, and I'm a big advocate for mental health, and lost a lot of friends to it, and making music like this, I feel like it resonates. That gives them something to talk about. Music's, for me, has always helped me out of dark places, so for them to talk about music as well, even if it's just a odd song on my album, hopefully they can talk about it with their friend, it gets them talking. A conversation starts with anything about mental health, so for me to play a part in that somehow is more than I could ask for, I'm sick of going to funerals. I've lost too many mates to that shit, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And it is incredible when you find out that someone will take your song and it'll bring them to a brighter place out of the darkness, and it's just cool.
Well, Fighting Tears was definitely a big one for me in that sense. So, like, I used to hang around this girl in Mount Isa. She wasn't from the town. She was fly in, fly out for the mines, and like, we were hanging out, and then we dated for a little bit, but we never really made anything public. We were just sort of enjoying each other's company. It wasn't like a one-night stand or a friends with benefits thing. It was just like, we were just enjoying each other's company, and she dabbled with a lot of addictions, so she battled with drug use and stuff like that, and I didn't really want to be around that, so I sort of told her, like, nah, if you're going to keep doing that, I'm going to leave this situation, and she's like, sort of got up me about it, and she moved away for a bit, and I went to TAFE like to go learn about my trade, and there was a special out on the nightclubs that night. It was cheap drinks. So in Australia it's called Cheap Tuesday or Cheap Chewy, and we go out there and we go to the strip club. It was just on the stretch, and here she is dancing. It fucking, sort of broke me heart a bit, because I was like, God, you got so much potential, and I care about you and all this stuff. And it convinced her to come move back and go back into the mines because it was better than that, and stuff like that. And she got good, and she went through rehab a few times, and unfortunately the demons got the best of her, and she took her life. And not long after that, I moved out of that town and moved home for my mental health, because I was like, I couldn't do that to the people that care about me and stuff like that. And at the time, like, I was very, very lost in what had all happened, because then COVID hit directly after that, and so COVID hit, and then I lost a heap of my mates in COVID. I lost some to COVID. I lost some to car crashes, heart attacks, cancer, you name it. Like, I went through a stretch there in 2020 where I think I lost 20 or 30 friends.
Wow.
And I couldn't go to any of their funerals because of the COVID laws in Australia, and stuff like that. Like, I wrote my best friend about this Indigenous rodeo announcer called Walter Baker, and Wilder and me used to travel around everywhere together, and he was the rodeo announcer, and I used to ride the rodeos, and he was the life of the party, man. He had the coolest nickname I've ever heard in rodeo, and it was Walter Baker, the Baby Maker, because women loved him, and he was like, he was the life of the party. Like, you weren't really at a rodeo if you didn't get a photo with Walter Baker, and he passed away in his sleep at a rodeo, just as COVID restrictions opened up at the end of 2020, and it was a real shock because he wasn't sick or anything. He just went to bed. He said he had a headache. He went to bed and never woke up, and it was a big shock to all of us rodeo cowboys, because he was. If you found someone that didn't like Walter Baker, there was a reason that person didn't have any friends, because he was the most likeable person in the world. And that really messed me up, so I wrote that song, and that was the first original song I ever released, technically, because I did a recording on my iPhone and posted it up. It was the last recording on an iPhone I did before going and recording the beginning, and when I did the original song and people really latched onto it and loved it, and I was like, all right, well, maybe I should go record this album. And I'd won a heap of money at a rodeo, like, previously, and I was like, maybe I'll use that money instead of drinking it and smoking it. And I went down there. I had no musical background besides playing a guitar, playing campfire chords on a guitar back then. Like, gee, I only knew the big four, like, really. And went down there, and luckily the producer Simon Johnson from Hillbilly Hut, he really helped me figure it out and teach me as I'm going. And I didn't have any marketing for the album. I remember that I released it at Mount Isa Rodeo across from the house that the girl from Fighting Tears, took her life in. The rodeo grounds is across from the house she was at. And releasing it was sort of like deja vu, to me. I remember I was at the rodeo, and there's not a lot of reception, like phone service at this rodeo, so I had to drive into town and go to the place I used to work at and say, hey, could I borrow a computer for 5 minutes so I could upload my album to DistroKid? And they're like, yeah. And I still had my login details. They were still active on my computer after a couple of years, and I was like, sweet, I just logged straight in. And yeah, the rest is history. I remember it officially dropped at like 6:30 p.m. on the Saturday. Like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about release times or any of that. I literally just released it like that, and I was like, my album's out, guys. Went up to the bar, drank a bit, went back to bed. Didn't think much of it, and like it was streaming some half alright numbers, and then I don't know who found Fighting Tears, but they found that song
on TikTok, and it caught on like wildfire. People were using it everywhere on sounds, and I was like, wow, this is cool. And I was, for a long time, I'm like, oh, a few Americans, that's cool. And then I went through a deep dive of it one day when I was sitting at home. I'm like, nearly all of these are Americans. Like, I think I'm the only Australian that's posted about my song. That's crazy. And then, yeah, I went gigging and doing all that and learning more. I dove in immensely in 2023 and just said, this is what I want to do. I quit my job. I was still rodeoing, so I was bouncing between doing a show and then going to a rodeo, scraping by. Like, I don't think I had any more than $2,000 in my account at a time that year, and then like barely paying the bills. And I broke up with a girlfriend and moved from home and won the Star Maker thing, and now it's all starting to pay off. But still, I just want to see where else the road will take me.
Yeah.
It's crazy how far I've got. But that's basically the story of how it all become, because there was no interest in being a musician out of school. It was always, when I was at school, I was like, I want to be a rugby player, and then I realised I wasn't very good at that. So I went to rodeoing, and then I was like, oh, well, I want to be a rodeo cowboy, and then next minute here I am, like, it's crazy how far things can go in 10 years, because I've been out of school 10 years now, and like, if you told me this 10 years ago, I would have said, no, that's like out of a movie, that's crazy. That stuff doesn't happen to people out in Australia. Yeah,
well, it did.
It did. It sort of frightened me at first, but yeah, no, it's I'm ever so grateful of the ride I've been on, and like look at the things I'm getting to do. Like, a lot of people don't get to do this in a lifetime, and I'm pretty blessed, and I always thank God, and thank all the people around me that have been helping me, like my manager and booking agents and stuff like that. I consider it like a family deal, as less of a business, because if I don't keep moving up, they don't keep moving up. So we're always working together. It's not me being the head man or something like that. It's always us working together to get more. And like when I'm in Brisbane right now, so we'll fly out of Brisbane to go to the States, and all my band live in Brisbane. And when I come down here, I never get a hotel room. They always put me up. They're like, "Oh, come here. I got a spare bed." So it's a big family, is what it is in my eyes. A lot of people see it as business, but I see it as a big family.
Yeah. It definitely, family business works too.
Yeah.
More on the personal side of things. But yeah, man, like I just got a thing that says your battery's getting ready to die.
Oh.
I don't know.
Nah, it's plenty. Nah,
oh, okay.
This week. Yeah.
Sometimes, streaming, you don't realize that normally would happen with a lot of the podcasts. They just disappear and they're like, oh, forgot to plug it in.
Good. It's all good, man. But no, if you don't have any other questions for me, man, like, I can duck if you need to go.
Yeah, dude. I've enjoyed talking to you a lot. It was really cool, and I learned so much about. It's funny. Like, I guess the one thing I do want to ask you is, like, being from Australia, and you come over here and you get a big, huge following. Do you get worried? Because I witnessed someone complain about music. He said, I miss that old American rock and roll, AC/DC. And I was like, yeah,
that's
AC/DC's, yeah. And say, the Youngs, they moved to Australia. That's an Australian band, And it's like, what? Since when? And not a lot of people, like, do you get worried that, like, I totally forgot Keith Urban was Australian. Does that bother you?
I don't think I'll ever lose my Australian touch. Like, every time I've been to the States, it's very hard to get the accent out of me. I'd have to live there for 30 years before I started talking it like an American. But even then, I'm very proud of where I come from. Like even my hometown, like everywhere I play, I tell them where my hometown is. I'm like, I'm from Whitton, Queensland. You know, I represent the 4735. You know, like everyone from my hometown, they put their town on their back when they go out of town. Like there's a rugby player playing in Australia right now, and he's from Whitton, and he played in like our version of the All-Star game this year for the first time ever. And they always say their hometown footy team. And he said, Kurt, man, Whitton Diamantina Devils and all of Whitton, I reckon that town would have erupted. If I wasn't at the cattle station and if I was in town listening to it, I reckon the town would have erupted. Like, there's just a pride. I think in every Australian, there's a pride of where they come from and their hometown, as much as you, like, with your patriotism. For us, it's about pride of your, like, from your state and your hometown. Like, especially in Australia, it's a lot about your state. So it's you know, similar to like Texas and Philadelphia, like the rivalry they have there. Like in Australia, it's like Queensland versus New South Wales sort of stuff. And I don't think I'd ever lose touch with my Australian side. I you know, it's always been about the green and gold for me. You know, the Australian colours. Like every time, you know, I end up on a podcast or, you know, talking in the news, and they're always talking about America, and they always go, yeah, you know, like, but I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm just an Aussie, you know, in their waters, you know, as much as like Paddy Mills was in the NBA playing for the Spurs. He was from Cairns in Queensland, you know. Australians coming over there to showcase Australia. That's what I want to do, you know.
Nice.
But, yeah, I don't think... Yeah, it won't bother me if people are like, oh, he's not American or anything like that, you know. I've got a pride about myself, about where I'm from.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I was just, you know, because I'm just trying to think, because not a lot of people know like certain bands are like Australian. I can think like good.
I can't believe you remember the chats, like, like.
Oh, dude, I'm on
the
Smack.
chat.
Oh, leave me alone.
Let me alone. It's such a good song. I remember hearing that, and I was like, these dudes get it. Like, these dudes are just living it.
Yeah, and they're just like, that's I love this song of Bus Money. It's like him like buying scratchers and, you know, the Rothy Blues, and please, just give me some money. I need to take the bus.
Rothy Blues are like, I don't know how to explain it. That's like the cheap smokes in Australia. They're like, yeah, if you're smoking Rothy Blues, you go, oh shit, you didn't get paid this week. Yeah. Like, yeah. But like, yeah, no, it is pretty cool to see Australian music in America, and like, yeah, I don't think I'll have any dramas with any of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think if anything, like Keith wanted to be a country artist, and that he didn't, you know, I'm not saying this on his behalf, but I don't think he was like, oh, I'm Australian. People just found out every now and then. Yeah. But for me, it's like, I'm Australian. Like, I'm telling everyone. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's like, it's a part of my identity. Why wouldn't I tell everyone, you know?
Yeah, I mean, people have been listening to Australian bands probably forever, and they probably don't know. Like NXS, was it Men at Work? Air Supply, and then Parkway Drive. They're
Ocean
all
Alley, Sticky Fingers. There's some cool bands to check out. Spacey
Wolf
Jane.
Mother, yeah.
Wolf Mother, yeah.
And Jet.
Oh, I had a Jet CD as a kid. Dad used to play that before going to the rodeo to G up a bit.
Bit of Jet. That's a good song. Do the Bee Gees count? Because weren't they?
I think there's a few of them are Australian, and I think others are. It could be English. I think.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm
something
trying to
like
think.
that. I think they partially count. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Silverchair, one of my favorite. I don't know if it's
yeah, the Newcastle Legends, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Silverchair. Frog Stomp, one of the greatest Australian albums of all time.
Oh, dude, I that's kind of like my friends like make fun of me for that, because To this day, I will play their instrumental Madman at a show. If I'm playing at a show, and I'll go, anybody knows what band wrote that? I will buy you a drink. And the people that come up and say that was Silverchair Madman, and I'm like, I'll get you 2 drinks if you know what the album was. They're like Frog Stomp. That changed the way of how I played guitar because all their songs are in drop D, and you can play with 2 fingers, and it was like easy to play, but you're playing really cool, fun music, and I loved that because at the time when they came out, I was just learning how to play, and I was terrible, but I was playing their music because they were teenagers too, so it was really cool, and then that made.
I remember hearing Tomorrow for the first time, and that distortion, and you just go, oh, like that's I don't know if that was already a thing, like distortion like that, but it was just so different when I first heard it. I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, that was a great album. That definitely shaped the way my music went with guitar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely
there's a heap of them Aussie. The big genre in Australia, I think, is like that beach rock they call it, and it's like Sticky Fingers, and like Sticky Fingers is one to check out. The Dregs, Spacey Jane, Ocean Alley, like. That's sort of what Australia's biggest market of music is that like indie beach rock, and it's some pretty good stuff. Like if I've got to recommend one Australian song of that genre, it'd be Booster Seat by Spacey Jane or Australia Street by Sticky Fingers, and like those songs epitomise a bit of Australian culture, like pretty well. And in terms of like country music, I would say How to Make Gravy by Paul Kelly. If you're trying to hear some more Australian country music, there's a heap of Australian country music, and not enough time to announce all of it. But like Paul Kelly's probably right up there. Slim Dusty, Lee Kernaghan, Troy Cassadaly, the Wolf Brothers. There's some pretty big names. Max Jackson, I've done a song with her. Piper Butcher, she's on the up. Melody Moko. All these names, like they're all worth a listen. But yeah, it's Australian country, and it's coming. It's coming. Everyone's going to hear about it soon.
Yeah. And well, would you be considered the pioneer, the first?
No. I think what I'm doing is totally different to what they're doing, and
okay.
I don't think I'd be comfortable calling myself pioneer. I think if anyone is a pioneer, it's probably Keith, even though. Like I said, he probably doesn't explain how Australian he is a lot of the time, where, the rest of us, we're true blue,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the accent.
Yeah, and the accent, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's a big one. But, yeah, man, dude, we've been talking for a while. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, man, just be ready for the album, I guess. The album, I think everyone's going to enjoy it. I hope they enjoy it because I enjoyed making it, So
yeah,
I'll send you the album on your Instagram so you can get a sneak peek because
cool.
of this. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll make sure everybody listens to the new song. What is it? Gooseneck Trailer?
Gooseneck Party.
Gooseneck Party.
Yeah, yeah. But it's out today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the album drops October 24th. Yeah. So and the album's called Gooseneck Party, but the lead single off the album is out today.
Nice.
But yeah, other than that, man, I don't have much else to tell you. But I'm keen for Whataburger and keen for a Dos Equis and a twisted tea.
There you go. But yeah, man, thanks for taking time to talk.
No, man, thanks for having me. Like I said, I've been following you for a long time, so to be on this is a pretty cool moment for me.
Yeah, it's cool to have you on.
Am I your first Australian?
Yeah, I don't think.
Hell yeah!
You might be the first, the first international artist. Unless,
oh hell yeah!
Yeah, unless I messed that up.
I don't think Canada counts. Canada's just Little America. I don't think that counts. If you've had a Canadian on there,
Yeah,
I don't think that counts.
Yeah, Little America's funny. Yeah, I don't know if I had any Canadians on. I don't know. I have to ask Talbot. He knows.
Talbot, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But
yeah,
man.
I'll send you the album, man. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm definitely sure I will. But yeah, man. Well, I guess normally I say enjoy the rest of your night, but you're just starting your day.
Yeah, I'll enjoy the rest of my day.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, good talking
thank
to
you.
I'll see you.